We're in a 2013 Honda Accord Cross Tour push to start. We're going to do a plug-and-play remote starter in this vehicle. We're going to start with a disassembly. We're going to go ahead and we're going to remove the lower dash panel. Just going to go ahead and we're going to pull out on the bottom to free it. We're going to use our plastic tool to release the top. Want to be careful. We don't want to break anything, so just use our tool and just use a little outward pressure in the tool, and we can get this dash to release. Now, using the plastic tool, you won't mar up the plastic, or you're less likely to. We're looking for the control unit to plug our T-harness into. Several connections that we're going to be making. Okay, there's a lower dash cover here. We're going to remove that also. Just going to pop the clips out. 3 little clips here. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to start the installation. The module that we're looking for is located under the dash. Try to give you a shot of it. It's right here. The plugs are on the face of the module here. I'm going to go ahead and reposition this tablet and try to give you the best view possible. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to release the module and pull it down. It's probably the best way to get at all the plugs and to show you exactly what you need to do. I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to push down from the top and slide the module out of its bracket. There's 3 plugs on the module. We're going to go ahead and we're going to plug in our T-harness. Okay, I've got the module hanging down. We're going to be dealing with the first and the second plug here, counting from the bottom up. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to unplug the first plug, and we're going to plug in our T-harness plug. Plugs will only fit one way. We're going to plug that one in, and we're going to do the second one. Okay, now this will leave 2 ends here. We're going to plug our OEM harnesses into our T-harness ends. Okay, sorry about that. Got some planes overhead if you're getting some noise here. So that pretty much is everything we need to do as far as ignition connections, starter connections, CAN connections. Everything's done with these 2 plugs. We're going to go ahead and we're going to program our device. Okay, to begin programming, we're going to hold our program button down, which is on the bottom of our unit, and we're going to be watching these LED lights. We're going to plug in the 6-pin plug, and while we're holding the button down, release the programming button when the blue and red LEDs are on. We're going to go ahead and insert, waiting for blue and red. We're going to go ahead and release the button on blue and red. Now we're going to connect the remaining harnesses. We have our 20-pin plug. We're going to go ahead and we're going to plug in our 20-pin plug on our device. And we have a white plug and a red plug. Let's separate this. On the back side, we're going to go ahead and plug the white plug in, and we're going to plug the red plug in. At this point, we're ready to move to the next step of programming. Okay, we're going to need to have our key fob in the vehicle. We're going to go ahead and we're going to press and release the programming button 3 times. 1, 2, 3. The lights are going to blink. We're going to go ahead and we're going to press the push to start button. We're not going to press the brake, we're just going to press the push to start button. I'm going to press it 2 times to turn the ignition on. The yellow light will flash rapidly. The blue light will flash rapidly. We're going to go ahead and press the push to start button again to turn the ignitions off. At this point, we're going to disconnect the module, and we're going to bring it to the computer and run the decryptor process to complete our programming. When we disconnect the module, we're going to disconnect the 6-pin plug last. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to pull the 20 pin, we're going to pull the white plug, we're going to pull the red plug, and we're going to pull the 6-pin plug. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to return the module to the computer. Our 6-pin plug is having a little problem releasing, so we're going to use a pick tool to just make sure we get the clip pushed all the way in. At this point, we're going to go ahead and we're going to unplug the 6-pin plug. It's fighting us a little bit, so we're just going to use our pick tool. Be careful, and we're going to release the plug. We're going to return the module to the computer. We're back at our computer, and we have the Flashlink Manager running from Fortin. We're going to go ahead and we're going to plug our module in to the programmer, and it's going to detect the module. We're going to have a tab that says Process Decryptor. We're going to click on the Decryptor tag. We're going to have an option to send the data to Fortin to be decrypted. We're going to click that. It's going to give us an ETA of how long this is going to take. It's going to give us an option to automatically update the Evo 1 when ready. We're going to click that box. Now we're going to wait for our module to complete programming. Evo 1 is updating. We're going to wait for the green progress bar to reach the end. When the green progress bar reaches the end, we're going to unplug the module and bring it back to the vehicle. When the programming is complete, you will see a screen saying the Evo 1 update is successful and the decryptor process is complete. We'll remove the module and reinstall it in the vehicle. Okay, we're back in our 2013 Honda Accord push to start. We're going to go ahead and we're going to plug in the module into the T-harness. Now this time we're not holding any buttons or doing anything, we're just plugging the plugs back into the device. Our remote starter is ready to activate. Okay, we're outside of our vehicle. We're going to go ahead and activate the remote starter. Now we haven't connected the parking lights. We have some light action in the front here. I don't know if they'll come on during the day, but without the parking light connection, we still have some lights here. Okay, we're going to go ahead and we're going to connect the parking lights. We're going to remove the Phillips screw out of the bottom of the steering column cover plastic. Then we're going to unlock the steering by having the fob in the vehicle, turning on the ignition so we can turn the wheel. We're going to push up in this groove with our plastic tool and pop the top of the column off. It'll reveal 2 Phillips screws. We're going to go ahead and we're going to pull out the Phillips screw on this side, and then we're going to pull out the Phillips screw on the opposite side. Both Phillips screws are removed, and we've centered the wheel and turned off the ignitions. We're now going to remove the plastic cover. Okay, we're going to locate our parking light connector. It goes to the parking light switch. This is the parking light switch. Here's the connector located at the rear of the switch. We're going to press the clip in and remove the plug. Our wire for the parking lights is located in this plug. We're going to go ahead and we're going to remove a small section of the loom. Be careful not to cut into the wires. We're going to locate our wire and we're going to make our connection. Okay, with the insulation removed, we're looking for a parking light connection right here at the parking light plug. We're going to be on pin number 8. If we orientate ourselves the same as the drawing and we look at the plug where the wires go in, we'll match it up. We're looking for a gray wire. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to orientate myself like the drawing, looking at the plug from the back. I'm going to locate pin 8 in our gray wire, and I'm going to apply our posi-tap connector to this wire. Posi-tap connector would be best for this, or a strip and wrap connection. With our posi-tap, which we're going to use, we unscrew the tap and we put this grooved piece right here over the wire. So we put the wire in the groove. And then we screw the connector back together. So we have the connector side with a little piercing needle in it that's going to screw into our wire. And this will make our parking light connection. Now, to connect to this posi-tap, we're going to loosen the collar after we've applied the posi-tap, and we're going to take our wire that we have for our parking lights, and we're going to have a little bit of the end stripped, and we're simply going to push it into the collar until it bottoms out, and then we're going to tighten the collar down while we hold the wire in. The wire should be secure. You should be able to pull on it, and it should not easily remove from there or pull out of the connector. We're going to go ahead and we're going to plug this back in. Another way would be to strip and wrap. I like the posi lock connector. It's nice and clean. It can be taken off, and it's easy to apply and requires no tools or solder. Okay, if you decide you want to do the horn connection, the plug is located right here on the bottom of the steering column. And if we orientate ourselves looking at the back of the plug, we want pin number 2. In this car, pin number 2 would be an orange wire. The instructions say it's going to be light blue. We're going to go by pin and not color. We've tested this wire. The orange wire would be the correct wire for the horn activation. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to remove a little bit of this tape. And we're going to be careful again not to cut into any conductors. And we're going to isolate our pin 2 connection, which is this orange wire on the Accord. And we're going to apply our posi-tap to the wire. And then we're going to take our horn wire from our unit. You're going to have a little bit stripped on the end. We're going to go ahead and we're going to loosen the collar on the posi-tap. Going to insert our wire and push it into the tap while we connect. And we tighten the collar back down and we have a connection. Solder-free, toolless connection. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to test our horn. So we're testing our connection and we have a good connection. We're going to reinsert the plug. Okay, the last thing we're going to do is we're going to introduce our 5-button RF kit to our device. And in order to do this, we need the fob in the car, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to turn the ignition to the run position, pressing the push button twice. We're now going to hold the program button down. There's a light inside the device. It's going to start blinking. When it starts blinking, we push the program button again 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we want to press and release the brake pedal, and then press the lock button on the remotes that we're introducing to our system. The light will blink in acknowledging confirmation to acknowledge it's learned the remotes. At this point, we can go ahead and press the push to start button to shut the ignition off. We have our system completed. We're going to lock our doors, we're going to unlock our doors, and we're going to activate the remote starter. We're going to shut our vehicle off, and now we're going to activate our panic feature, which is pressing and holding the lock button. On the cross tour, we cannot release the rear gate with our push button. If it were a sedan, we would be able to pop the trunk from our remote also. Keep in mind that we still have the ability to start the vehicle by 3-press on the OEM remote. Upon entering the vehicle, as soon as we open the door, the engine is going to shut off. This is part of the secure takeover feature of the vehicle. This will prevent unauthorized operation if somebody were to enter the vehicle and try to drive it. Because it's a push-button vehicle and there is no secure takeover, the engine must shut off when you open the door. You would get in the vehicle and restart the vehicle in order to drive it.